discretion is advised.
Hello, viewers. I'm the Scowling Wonder Woman, filling in for my boss. Since Season 15 of King of the Hill is on the way, I'd figure that I should bring up Rainy Street's conspiracy theorist, Dale Gribble. And believe me, there are more bad stuff he's done than funny. Let's roll the intro. And before anyone asks, yes. My boss is trying out AI voices for characters like myself. The words in these videos are still typed by him and no other AI devices. Only AI voices, and my character sprite. Anyways, enough screwing around and let's go to number 10. Number 10. Encourage Joseph to a Panda Vision Quest. In this episode, Dale Gribble misinterprets Joseph's dream as a sign that he should embrace his Native American heritage, believing himself to be the albino buffalo. To help Joseph fit in with a group of delinquent kids, Dale encourages Joseph to whack a giant panda at the Heimlich County Zoo. John Redcorn intervenes to stop the act, revealing that the dream was actually a warning against following the wrong crowd. Damn, not only was that a bad and stupid thing for Dale to do, but it was also on the offensive side too. Let's move on to Number 9. Became a male. Karen over a smoking ban. Smoking and the bandit. I never got into the smoking habit. Too filthy, and it destroys your lungs. In this episode, Dale Gribble adopts the persona of the smoking bandit to defy a new no-smoking ordinance in Arlen. His motivation is primarily to regain the respect of his son, Joseph, who idolizes the mysterious masked figure. Meanwhile, Peggy Hill attempts to uncover the bandit's true identity for her work at the Arlen Bystander. The episode title is a parody of the 1977 film Smokey and the Bandit. I must say that if you can't stop the smoking, there are ways to quit. Maybe watch my boss's top 10 anti-smoking PSAs as an inspiration. All right, enough with the promo plugs. Let's go to Number 8. Became a neighborhood bully while wearing a knight's suit. Ceci Nespa un King of the Hill. In this episode, Dale Gribble purchases a genuine suit of medieval armor, which he uses to bully neighbors and take revenge on past tormentors without fear of physical consequences. His tyrannical reign ends when Bill Dottereve constructs a homemade suit of armor using pots, pans, boxing gloves, and a trash can, and defeats Dale in a duel by simply shoving him over, causing Dale to become stuck due to the weight of his suit. You know what they say? The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Serves Dale right, and kudos to Bill for putting that chain-smoking bully in his place. Speaking of bad deeds Dale did, here's one that messed up Hank's house at. Number 7. Destroyed Hank's house from his tunneling, then caused Hank to go to anger management class after an accident with the skill saw. The Texas Skill Saw Massacre. Remember what Richard Adler said on South Park? Don't screw around when you're using power tools. Unfortunately, Dale never learned that lesson. In this episode, Dale Gribble digs an underground tunnel beneath the Hill family's kitchen floor, causing the floor to collapse and rendering the house uninhabitable. The title is a parody of the horror film The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Key plot points include Hank Hill accidentally cuts off one of Dale's fingers with a circular saw while attempting repairs. Hank is sentenced to anger management classes and issued a restraining order against Dale. The episode features a memorable subplot involving a rebellious classmate named Big Jim, who dies of a stroke during the class. The climax involves Hank saving Dale, Bill, and Boomhauer from being crushed by a garbage truck driving over their unstable tunnel network. Wow, I feel really bad for Hank. All of that grief from Dale. I should call that chain smoker, Dale the griefer Gribble. Here's another bad thing Dale did when the Hills and the Suffinison Phones visited Mexico, and it's at number 6. Abandons Hank and Con at the border, 3 days of the condo. Even in a foreign country, Dale is such a dick. In this episode, the trio becomes trapped in Mexico after Con Suffinison Phone misreads a timeshare advertisement, leading to him cheating a condo owner out of money. As a result, Hank, Dale, and Con are arrested for breaking into an unrented unit of a duplex condo. To avoid paying a heavy fine and facing Mexican prison, they sneak back across the Rio Grande into Texas, with Con helping an unwilling Hank over the border fence. I wouldn't even trust Dale trying to sneak his family into Canada since he abandoned both Hank and Con. And yet, Dale smokes Manitoba cigarettes, which they're named after the Canadian province of the same name. Speaking of crimes, did you know that Dale's alias Rusty Shackelford was actually another character's name? That's right, viewers. Dale has committed identity theft at number 5. Stolen his childhood friend's name, then uses it as an alias, Peggy's Gone to Pots. To be honest, I thought that Rusty Shackelford was an unseen character, much like Bob Sacamano in Seinfeld. Rusty Shackelford makes his first physical appearance in The King of the Hill, Season 11, episode Peggy's Gone to Pots, having been mentioned as an alias by Dale Gribble in previous seasons. The character is voiced by Scott Clace and is revealed to be a real person who merely moved away rather than dying, as Dale had assumed. He returns to Arlen to confront Dale about years of identity theft and forces him to sign papers, clearing Rusty of all legal and financial troubles caused by Dale using his name. Damn. Dale's identity fraud was so bad that it makes Ilhan Omar look like a saint. And she's responsible for the fraud that happened in Minnesota. Anyways, Dale should not be carrying a firearm because of what happened at number 4. Accidentally firing a round while telling his gun story. Soldier of Misfortune. I'm all for the Second Amendment rights, but the way Dale handled that handgun was downright irresponsible. While recounting a fabricated story about bringing down a Central American dictator to the Arlen Gun Club, Dale accidentally discharges his firearm into a cash register, injuring a member and jeopardizing his re-election as club president. In an effort to restore Dale's confidence, Hank Hill poses as Mr. Big and hires him for a fake mercenary mission, which leads to Dale deploying his famous pocket sand defense against a stranger he mistakenly believes is trying to steal the briefcase he was tasked to retrieve. The episode culminates with Dale and his friends being held hostage by Dale's rival, Mad Dog, before Dale successfully bluffing them away using flower delivery drivers as a decoy. Wow, talk about being a wannabe member of the A-Team. Dale's even crazier than Murdoch. Even when being as patriotic, he does tend to be a dick towards Hank at number 3. Labels Hank Hill as a Karen over a driver's license error. Dale to the chief. Look, I'm as American as my boss LawWonder, but calling Hank a communist he-she over a misgendering error takes it too far. Dale to the chief is the 176th episode of King of the Hill, serving as the 5th episode of Season 9. The episode features 2 parallel plot lines centered on government bureaucracy and trust. Dale's political awakening. After reading the Warren Commission report to clarify a conspiracy theory for his son Joseph, Dale becomes convinced that the U.S. government is truthful about the JFK assassination. This revelation causes him to abandon his anti-government paranoia and transform into an insufferable, flag-waving patriot who paints an American flag on Hank's roof and reports Hank to Homeland Security for defacing it. Hank's bureaucratic nightmare. Hank receives a new driver's license that erroneously lists his sex as female. He struggles with the Department of Public Safety's excessive red tape to correct the error, eventually requiring Dale's newly acquired knowledge of government processes to resolve the issue. The episode is notable for its satire of both conspiracy culture and federal bureaucracy, earning a 7.7 rating on IMDb and remaining a fan favorite for its sharp humor and character dynamics. And with that, we go back to paranoia when Dale insults Nancy after she turned 40 at Number 2. Gaslit his wife's appearance for a frivolous lawsuit. The Trouble with Gribbles. In the King of the Hill episode, The Trouble with Gribbles, Season 5, Episode 18, Dale Gribble deliberately insults Nancy, calling her ugly and unattractive as part of a scheme to sue the Manitoba Tobacco Corporation. He claims that secondhand smoke from his cigarettes has disfigured her, justifying a lawsuit to pay for the facelift she wants after losing her job to the younger Luann. To make the case appear genuine, Dale avoids telling Nancy the truth, knowing she is a poor actress whose reactions would seem fake if she knew the plan. This cruel-to-be-kind strategy backfires severely. Nancy believes him, becomes heartbroken, and temporarily leaves to live with the Hills. The plan nearly destroys their marriage until Dale realizes his mistake, abandons the lawsuit, and reconciles with Nancy. First off, let me make this clear. Being a TV anchor person or meteorologist doesn't make you a Hollywood star. What Dale said to his wife was the worst thing he's ever done, but we're not done with this video. I have the top worst thing he did to Hank on the first season, but before we get to that, here is a memorial of a list of King of the Hill voice actors who have passed away. And yes, this includes Dale's voice actor as well. Actors may come and go, but their legacy will live on. Some of these actors played as recurring characters, while most of them played as one-time characters, or even themselves. Anyways, it's time to guard your lawn from Dale's bugs and chemicals as we bring you number 1. Get ready for the worst thing Dale Gribble did at number 1. And the worst thing he did is planted fire ants on Hank's new lawn. King of the Anthill. Here is the most despicable deed Dale ever did to his next-door neighbor, Hank Hill. Hank always tries his best to maintain his lawn, but when Con mocked his lawn over not being better than the rest, Hank fires Dale from being the exterminator and goes over to the store to buy St. Augustine grass. After Hank makes the upgrade for the upcoming Cinco de Mayo block party, Dale secretly infests his lawn with fire ants as an act of revenge. And after many failed attempts to get rid of the ants without Dale's help, Hank pleads for his help, but at a cost. Dale uses chemicals that are known to be toxic and causes Hank's expensive lawn to die. And as much as he redeems himself when the B plot crosses paths with the main plot, I'm not going to give that away. You'll have to watch the episode to see for yourself. Anyways, this wraps up this top 10 video. What did you think of it? Do you believe that Dale was a bad guy for these deeds? Or do you believe that he was justified to do these deeds? Please, let my boss know in the comments as he wrote most of the script for me to read. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye for now.